Hello, I'm Dr. Rhoberta Shaler, the relationship help doctor. I want to talk to you about something that we all love about those difficult people who hooked us around their little fingers and walked away with our heart and then started treating us badly. Yes, those people that I call hijackals. And from other videos, you may well remember that I coined the phrase and trademarked the phrase hijackals to talk about those people who hijack relationships for their own purposes, and then they relentlessly scavenge them for power, status, and control day after day after day. So you will know immediately who I'm speaking about in your life if that rings true. And one of the things that they do at the beginning of our relationship is that they put on a great show. They are chameleons. They come in and they want you. They want to get you. They want to own you. They want to have you. They want to spirit you away. So they put on this wonderful show of being the best thing since ever happened. I was going to say sliced bread, but that's a bit old. The best thing that ever happened to you, the person, your soulmate, the one who seems to know you so well. And so they want to scoop you up. And one thing we know about hijackals is they really like to get you quickly. So they'll say things like, oh, I just know I'm going to marry you. Or the moment I saw you, I fell in love with you. And oh, let's live together. Let's get married. Let's have a baby. And they'll do it all in 15 minutes if they possibly can. And this is what we call love bombing. They know that they can't keep it up, but they want something. And what they want at that moment is you. And so they will do anything to get you. And they'll even put up with a little bit to get you because that made you a little more of a challenge. And then slowly, and for some people, it's a couple of years before it all begins to show up as it really is. For other people, I know one person who it happened on the wedding night. All of a sudden, the person that she thought she was marrying was somebody completely different, a raving hijackal. So this love bombing business happens at the beginning of your relationship, but unfortunately, it will happen throughout your relationship. So the idea is to get you hooked on hope that that first person that you met, the person you fell for, the person who seemed to be your soulmate, hooks you on hope that that's the real person. So when they do strange things a little later in the relationship, you want to say, oh, this must be a bad day or a bad moment. They must be under stress. They must be having a difficult time. Oh, it's just part of their sad childhood. And you start justifying and making excuses and rationalizations for the bad behavior because you're hooked on hope that that real person, the one you think was real at the beginning, is the one you believe in. Now, there's great wisdom in doing that if you're not with a hijackal, because that's the way you learn compromise and that's the way you learn collaboration. And you can have communication to deeply enrich your relationship and it will become more emotionally intimate. But with a hijackal, that won't happen. So the love bombing happens at the beginning to hook you on hope. And then when they start behaving badly and you say something about it and they're not happy, you excuse or rationalize their behavior. Sounding at all familiar? Okay, so then you get really, really angry and maybe you even threaten to leave. And what happens? In many cases, all of a sudden the hijackal starts to love bomb you again. Now, it doesn't matter whether the hijackal is a male or a female, they will do the same thing. So they want you. They're not going to be without their supply because you've become their supply, the supply to their ego, the supply to their need for control and power over someone. And you have become their supply. And you threaten to take that supply away. Well, it's much harder to get supply, they think, than to keep the one you have. So what do? They love bomb you again. And you think, oh, yes, that's the person I met. Yes, yes, yes. Sound at all familiar now? It'll happen over and over and over. So let's say you do decide to move on and you move out, or you ship that hijackal out of your life or your house. And then you start feeling like, oh, what have I done? This is terrible. Did I make a mistake? all of the remorse and regret that's possible comes drifting up into your mind. And you start thinking, oh, was it me? Because of course the hijacker wants you to believe it's you because they blame you for everything. So if they can get you to think that you're the problem, they're in heaven. Don't let that happen. So you are away from them and you start missing them. You start missing the hooked on hope part, the hope that that really was the person, that you didn't make a mistake, because you don't want to have made a mistake. Who does? So you keep hoping, no, if only I'm more compassionate, if I'm more patient, if I'm less nagging, if I'm more loving, if I'm more nurturing. You start doing all those things as though you can change the hijackal. You can't. Please understand that. You can't. They don't want to be changed. In fact, they resent it terribly because it would mean that there was a fault in them, and they're not having any faults. Have you noticed that? They are just not willing to admit to any fault, take responsibility for anything, or be accountable for anything. So they're not having that. So if you've already moved out and you start having questions about, should I have done it? Don't think about the good times. Think about all the bad times. Think about all the difficulties. Think about all you've been through. And then reach out, come to my groups, maybe belong to my optimized circles. You'll find all the support. You can ask your questions of me directly there. Go to forrelationshiphelp.com/circles. Join in. $5 a month. Just save yourself one latte and you're in for a whole month. Come there. We'll talk with you. We'll support you. We'll help you. And it's important to recognize this love bombing thing. All of a sudden, they're hearts and flowers, where before they were just bitterness and rancor. And the real person is the bitterness and rancor. I'm sorry, but it's true. The person that they're showing you, you don't want them to be it. So you believe that it's not that. But it is that. It truly is that. So I just wanted to make this video to help you understand love bombing. Yes, it feels good to be love bombed because it makes you feel right, that you were right in the first place, that that really was the person. And it warms your heart that you didn't make a mistake. And you kind of want to dismiss all this. So I'm going to give you one example. Years ago in my practice, a woman came in and she had a big red mark across her face. And we'd only been working together for a few weeks. So I said, "What's this?" And she said, "He hit me with a hairbrush last night." And I said, "Really? And you say this man loves you?" She said, "Oh, I know he loves me." I said, "How do you know?" She said, "Well, 3 weeks ago, he brought me flowers and he told me he loved me." I said, "So this would be a love tap?" And she just broke apart because the dissonance between "I love you" and "I hit you" really made sense to her at that moment. And so what he was doing when he bought the flowers was he was love bombing her to set her up to stay and believe that hooked on hope. And then he would continue to disintegrate into nasty hijackal behaviors. And then something else would happen. Problem with that is if she didn't stop it, then he may escalate his physical or sexual violence. And we couldn't have that. So we had to really work on that. And I hope you will too. So I hope this has helped you understand what love bombing is all about, and that you have to take responsibility for that. You have to wake up and smell the herbal tea and say, "I'm being love bombed, much as I like it. I am being love bombed, and I've got to just get ready for that. I have to see it differently. I have to see it for what it is. Much as I want to believe that, I can't. There's no evidence in reality for it. I am being love bombed. Nice try. Not going to suck me in this time." I hope you'll learn to say that. I'm Dr. Rhoberta Shaler, the Relationship Help Doctor. You can find me at relationshiphelp.com. Again, if you want immediate help, you can certainly become my client. I have clients all over the world through video conferencing, or you can join my membership program, Optimize Circles, for relationshiphelp.com/circles. I hope we talk soon. Take good care.